A great pleasure to introduce Elizabeth O'Leary from the Head of Agriculture Investments for Macquarie. And Elizabeth, you did a wonderful piece this morning with a panel session, and you were discussing the need for people, the human component in investing and business risk. I was wondering if you care to share more about that with the people in here.
Sure. When people think about agriculture and investing, quite rightly they think about physical assets, farms, animals, machinery and production systems. But what they forget about is that is all driven by human capability. And that human capability is evolving and changing as we're seeing particularly technology and data start to make the difference in management decision making on farm. So what we're very focused on is ensuring not only have we got the talent for today, but actually are we developing the right talent for the future? Have we got the number of young people interested in the sector and understanding the sector coming through the system? And I think the answer is no. And then as they come through the education pipeline, have they even got the right skills and attributes for the new world of agriculture versus the old world of agriculture?
Now, is there an opportunity there for people listening? There might be an RTO out there to go and build a curriculum around farm management. I mean, you invest in things. Is there a big hole there that people should be paying attention to? Are government going to do it?
I think the private sector is a very efficient way to solve problems. The markets tend to solve problems, and we are seeing an entry of new training and people development organisations into the agri sector.
Yeah.
What I would argue is we need to couple some of the management and leadership capability we're developing with some of the technology and technical capability needed to manage the new tools and data available to us on farm. We need to couple that then together with the fact that as you move up through the management layers, you are now managing a very large and complex balance sheet. So the financial and business acumen in order to manage whole of enterprise. And that I think there is still a whole of enterprise capability development that is still needed in the sector.
Because, I mean, that level of business capability you're talking about, that doesn't come from technical knowledge of people still out of trade school, or not even trade school, because we're talking about highly complex software technologies.
But you've got to bolt all of this together. You've got to bolt together what do we learn in our formative stages, and even before that, what attracts us to the sector. And the students we should be attracting to the sector are those who are highly motivated by understanding R&D, innovation, land care, sustainability, climate change, financial management, business management. There's a whole story around agriculture we don't tell. And that is tremendously innovative and changing rapidly. And it's changing in the context of our planet, which is pretty cool to be a part of. So we should be telling that story to our best and brightest, bringing them into the education pipeline, ensuring they're getting the right curriculum content as they move through the pipeline. Some of it is excellent. Some of our ag schools are good. We don't have enough of them. And some of our uni degrees are very good. Arguably, don't have enough students, the right students going through them. But then you have to marry that with real world experience on ground. And that's where the corporate sector has to step up and say, how I think about the development of my people is as important as how I think about the development of my farmland assets.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And the thing that's coming up in my mind is I know a whole variety of people who are expressing their upsetness if that's a term, with the state of the world. And the reality is all of our assets, all of our infrastructure, all of our farmland, it's run by people, and they need good people. So if you want to go out and change the world, you can go learn, you can go and do this. It's there. They need you. So if you do feel the call, I would say to people, get involved. It's a beautiful time, I think.
It's a great sector to be in. I think the other angle to this is not just thinking about our own backyard, but actually thinking about where are we developing knowledge, capability and know-how that can be easily exported to other parts of the world, where perhaps for various reasons the sector hasn't got the technology advancement that we've been blessed with here, or whether there's some constraint to knowledge capability development there. And I think one of the wonderful things about the agricultural sector, you only have to talk to any farmer and they love to talk about what they do. So there's not this proprietorial sense of what I do is top secret and no one can ever know. We love sharing, and we love sharing our data and sharing our information. So I think we should think about that more broadly, not only within our communities and within our continent, but also thinking about how can we share knowledge across borders.
Yeah. And I mean, there was a gentleman up earlier and he says, we're an Australian technology company with a global audience. And similarly, academic literature and starting a company that's born global. The big question for you being Macquarie, if people are starting up, if they do have these great technologies, if they are in it for the long game, what support can they expect from somebody who are considering an institutional investor such as yourself?
Yeah, and one of the greatest things we can do for the sector is to be a test bed for new thinking and new technology. And we're already doing that on our farms. We have a very strong relationship with the CSIRO around how we think about taking research into the development phase. We are not afraid to step up and run development pilots on our farms. I think that, the greatest thing we can do is to give the canvas, and the canvas of a very large and very diversified set of farmland assets, so that the sector can see how do new technologies and new tools and know-how play out in different environmental contexts, in different production systems. We can and do step up to enable that really by putting our farmland assets to use.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, there you go. If you want to access some farmland assets and you've got a great idea, potentially get in touch with this lady. But genuinely, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
It's a real pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you.